Are you ever in this room, like ever?
No.
You say like how familiar you are with?
No.
He's actually supposed to be another comment before he asks questions.
You're definitely not going to play with this. We had to change everything just for you anyways.
Very nice with the hearing.
Gosh, he's still a rookie.
You got
It's
the better.
the one we're in just bigger team rooms. We're in the big team.
Ryan wore that baseball hat thinking he was going to match yours. He's kind of upset that you
Yeah.
that you came in with your hair on.
We got to go to something after this. I can't keep track of what I'm supposed to do. Y'all, I tell you what, next time y'all tweet me the dress code attire and I'll do it.
Any other questions? No, hold on. We're going to let Coach make an opening comment about how practice has been going.
I've never done that before. Want to do that?
Do you want to do that, or do you want to just take questions?
Let's take questions.
Okay, we'll just take questions.
Did y'all go live all out today?
We did. Today was first day in pads. It was good. And we went a lot of live team stuff. You know, we did plenty that wasn't live as well, but it was good. And I don't know how many plays we got. I'm going to guess around between probably 30 and 45 at least, maybe more. Live.
So it wasn't a scrimmage.
It wasn't a scrimmage, no. We just played, you know, we had a regular practice. At the end of practice, we put down, did some team stuff, some situational, some 1st and 10, some move the ball, and that's when we kind of went live. But with 7-on-7, all that was just good normal practice tempo.
Is this the first time you can really kind of get a good look at the running back since it's?
Yeah, I mean, yes, Peyton and Rock are guys that we're familiar with. You look at Peyton now, he's starting his 3rd year with us, coming off a redshirt year and last year. Then you got Rock starting his 2nd year. I think Rock's gained about 10 or 12 pounds, so he's looking a lot thicker and looks just as quick and fast. So it was good to get a feel for those two guys, and then other than a little bit in bowl practice, same for Javon. And so that's something that, you know, will be interesting to see all spring, how those three do. And until you get live bullets, are they going to hold on the ball, how they are, you know, making guys miss, protections, you know, that's what really matters. And so today was probably our first good eval of them.
With Rock, you know, we didn't get to see him after that fumble in the Iron Bowl. How did he handle that, having to be on the bench after playing so much there late? And how do you think you can approach this spring knowing that there's a live active battle for that starting job?
I think he handled it fine. You know, Rock was not benched because we didn't trust him or believe in him. You know, it really bothered him, obviously, when he did that the first play. He felt like he let the team down. So we just didn't feel like at that point, mentally, we needed to put him right back in. And then just the way the game went, he never went back in. But Rock's had a great offseason. I think in you know, some of the offseason workouts with Coach Russell and some of those things, he's been one of the better guys. You know, he's been really consistent. He's in great shape. Like I said, he's gained 10 or 12 pounds. And I think he's motivated. I think he made a comment that, you know, he really enjoyed. I think now he appreciates what he learned from getting to watch Cameron and Corey and how they prepare and how older guys approach everything, not just on the field. And I think he's in a good position to really compete and do well.
Now, that game weight, is that where you guys want him to play?
You just keep waiting.
I'm sorry. No,
No, go ahead.
I was just saying, I mean, the way he's gained, is that where you guys want him to be? I mean, do you want?
Yeah, I think so because, you know, Rock had been nicked and bruised a little bit throughout that freshman year, and that's normal for a freshman. But he was at 190, which isn't a bad weight, but being able to put 10 pounds on or so, and it's good lean mass, and he looks as quick and as fast, if not faster. So as long as he doesn't lose his quickness and speed, then obviously that'll help him because, you know, in our league, he's going to take more hits probably this year than he did last year, and it'll also help him in pass protection.
Jeremy got the first snap with the first team, sorry. Who got the first snap running back wise for you guys?
I honestly couldn't tell you. We're rotating those three. I mean, I'll be able to look at film. Tim handled that. We were going to rotate those three guys evenly, and from 7-on-7 to all the other team settings, and I can't remember who got the first one today. I really can't. Typically, Rock and Peyton have been starting just because they're more comfortable with everything, but Javon's getting plenty of reps, and I can't remember which one he started today.
You guys talking about you had a plan for getting all the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Some work early. And Jerry would start get the first snap. So can you kind of talk about that plan and what it is?
Yeah, you know, Jeremy took the first snap the first day, but him and Sean are taking a lot of snaps with the quote ones, and Tyler Queen and Jason Smith are taking a lot with the twos as they kind of get their feet wet. And but they're coming along nicely. You know, you got Tyler Queen's got his prom tonight. Yeah, that's real. And you got Jason Smith just got here, you know, a month or two ago too. So it's brand new to those guys. So overall, I'm really pleased with how they're picking things up. You know, I think they're able to go out and at least execute the plays. Maybe not always to the best of their ability or how we want, but they're able to function, which is good 3 days in because they're having to install at Jeremy and Sean's pace. You know, guys that know the base offense, they're having to install at that pace. We're not slowing it down for them. So they've done really well. Jeremy and Sean, really I've been pretty balanced with the way I've rotated them, splitting the reps. And those two guys have both overall had 3 really good days. I've been pleased with their ability to try to lead and be leaders out there. We got to get more accurate with throwing the football, but as far as balancing the reps, that's kind of how we've done it. And all 4 have gotten opportunities. If anybody gets more reps, obviously Jeremy and Sean have gotten the bulk.
What was it about Jeremy when you saw him that made you say, hey, this guy can be a big time SEC?
Are you talking about like coming out of high school? Or, well, you know, first of all, he's got all the arm talent you could want. I mean, he can throw the ball vertically down the field. He can hit every throw on the field from boundary to intermediate to field comebacks. I mean, he can make every throw in the NFL route tree. Throws a very tight, good ball. You know, he ran a similar system to us in high school, so he's familiar with that. He's very smart as far as he thinks the game like a quarterback. He's very calm out there. He's comfortable leading as a quarterback. And then, of course, taking into account his athleticism. He was Mr. Basketball almost, should have been, but he was runner-up for Mr. Basketball in high school, Mr. Football. A guy 5'5", 6'6", at the time 220, 230 that can run, probably in the 4.5s. I mean, just overall great athleticism. What's not to like? And then the type of person he is. He's a good person. He's a good kid. You know, you're going to see him doing the things he should be doing off the field and being a good example for our guys. So that was what drew us to him. And then when we got him in here, you know, he picked things up really quick. I mean, he played a lot that first year when he was behind Nick, and he was able to come in last year, start the first game, and do well for us. So we just want him to keep coming.
What's a realistic expectation for Jason Smith, being a quarterback but also splitting time at punt return? Is he a guy that could contribute next season in like a wildcat role? Or?
Yeah, Jason's very talented. I mean, so we've got to find ways to have Jason on the field if he doesn't win the quarterback job. You know, being a punt return is not a big deal because that's a lot of pre-practice catching and just in a special teams period. He doesn't miss anything really with quarterbacks. To be honest with you, even this time last year, I even floated to Coach Fountain. It never made it all the way to Coach Malzahn. We know where it would have ended, but Nick Marshall, I said, hey, you'd be a pretty good punt returner. So, you know, we need to put the best guys on the field. I think Coach Horton's been pleased with how he's returning punts. But he's done well. I mean, he's 3 days in. He's got a pretty good chunk of offense in for 3 days. And you can tell he's naturally, he can play the position. He's played it his whole life. But at the end of the day, he's an electrifying playmaker. So depending on where it goes, you know, he'll have a role.
Rhett, at what point would you want to see some separation starting between Austin and Xavier? And would you be comfortable if it goes to fall camp without having a kind of decided advantage?
I don't know if I'd be comfortable, maybe okay with it. You know, we'll know more. Like I said, today for everybody, and I hadn't watched the film, just kind of first impressions, but his first day really with pads on. So as Coach Grimes says, they've been playing in underwear for 2 days. Just put helmets on. So, you know, they've both done well. Xavier's been more consistent with his snaps. That's been the biggest thing for him. And, you know, he's been in it a year. Austin's made a really good transition. You look at the young man's played tackle his whole life. But he's very smart. He's a big kid. And they've both done some good things. I've seen the film. And hopefully by the end of spring we have at least a good idea of the direction. Whether or not we name somebody, I don't know. But that's going to be good competition throughout spring.
What do you think it means for the quarterbacks to have Duke, you know, somebody who's kind of an established #1 guy, since there's so many moving parts around them?
I think, I know if I was a quarterback, I'd like to have somebody like that to throw to. And, you know, so obviously he's a guy that when he's covered, he's open. And so it doesn't matter who you are, that's a good safety net and safety blanket. So, yeah, I think it's always a plus.
If you just first 3 practices had to pick a few players as most improved, whether they're freshmen or returning starters, who would they be?
Ooh. You know, one thing that is really important to us is our H-back position. 2 years ago we had Jay Prosh. He was the best in the country. Last year, you know, Brandon Foltz did a good job. Wasn't necessarily his natural fit, but he did a good job for CJ at times. You know, we lost those guys. You know, Chandler Cox and Cameron Petway for the first day in pads. I don't know how well they executed, but from a physicality standpoint, I was really pleased. I mean, I think you got all spring, all summer, all fall camp. I think those 2 guys are going to give us a chance. I mean, you're looking at an offense that I think we overlooked this. We lost 8 starters. I mean, we got Sean Coleman, Avery Young, and Duke Williams. That's the only returning starters back. Now, yeah, you have Ricardo Lewis who played a lot, you know, but you also lost both tailbacks, your quarterback, both tight end H-backs. I mean, so, and Kozan didn't play last year. So we got 8 new faces out there. And so there's position battles in a lot of places, but the first thing that I know we got to have is someone step up there, and I thought they've done a good job. You know, he mentioned the centers. I've been pleased, at least with the snaps. I've been pleased how Austin's adjusted so far. You know, off the top of my head, but that was the first thing that came to mind.
Is it easier for a running back to kind of make that transition to the cross roll?
You know, we've done it before. Eric Smith was someone who did that. I don't know if it's necessarily easier, but sometimes you get bigger backs and more short yardage type backs, but they have the size and the physicality to do it. I don't know if it's easier, but we've had success with it. And we also had a young man at Arkansas State kind of did the same thing. But Cameron is so athletic. And for a big guy, he's very athletic. He's light on his feet. He's very physical. And like I said, I think he's got a chance to really help us there. He's transitioning well so far.
What sticks out about Javon from what you've seen of him so far?
Javon, he's a lot like those other two quarterbacks. He's just got here. Now, he got a few practices in bowl practice, but when you just play today, I mean, he had some really good runs. So when he's just grabbing the ball and playing, he's doing well. It's just going to take time. That's why we practice, from the protections to knowing all the plays and where to line up, because we go faster than he's ever gone before, you know. So from that regard, you know, he's got a ways to go, but physically, you know, he's ready to go, and he'll have an opportunity, because when he's just running and playing, he's pretty talented.
When you're able to maybe throw the ball a little bit more this season, do some different things, maybe more bubble screens and things of that sort, does that help speed up the offense a little bit more to your liking?
You know, yes and no. Our tempo's got to get better, period. And some of that's deceiving. You know, you look at, well, all the talk, and it used to be for us too, is on how many plays per game are you running. Well, take the South Carolina game, for example. First, I think they score, we get the ball back, we've already been scoring. One play, 75 yards, Ricardo scores. We're not upset we only got one play. You know, now does that help our total plays for the game? No. But we'll take the explosive play any time. And so